José Guadalupe Posada, Don Lupe. He was a Mexican printmaker, cartoonist, and engraver from Aguascalientes, Mexico. A self-taught artist, Don Lupe worked for over 40 years, providing illustrations for newspapers, books, songs, books, and other types of advertising. Posada is the founder of the comical technique of humorous political cartoons and satirical decoration. He is the precursor of Mexican modern art and the father of Mexican printing. He considered himself as a printmaker, not an artist. Posada used printing techniques of lithography, engraving, and etching. The use of lithography method printing is originally based on oil and water. The definition is a Greek term. Lithos means stone, and graphen means to write. The printing is from a lithographic limestone or a metal plate with ball grinding surface. These techniques are put together on a panel layouts. Many different types and forms are incorporated into the illustrations. The process of lithography is very long with a lot of steps. The creator of this cheap method of publishing theatrical works was the German author Alois Senefelder. The lithography technique is a long process with a lot of steps. There is a summary of 4 steps that cover in general. Number 1. The image is worked out on the stone. Number 2. The stone is wiped off with acid gum. Number 3. Roll up with ink. Number 4. Regum for next printing or grind off images and start new work. Posada's technique in his own words. The print is the central image from a larger broadside. It is print from a zinc plate etched by an acid bath. The image is first drawn onto the zinc plate using a pen with a greasy type of ink that protects the marks from the acid bath. The plate is then placed in a light acid solution. The acid erodes into the plate, leaving the drawn lines standing in relief. After the acid is rinsed off, a roller is used to ink the plate. The ink rests on the raised surface, protect from the acid. The plate is put in a press and the image is printed. The print image is reversed, that is, the print image is a mirror image of the plate. This technique was developed in France in the mid-18th century. Don Lupe produced over 20,000 images. Not well known, his work was done on stone, wood, or steel. Posada was influenced by the French muralist Jean Charlot. He discovered Posada's skills in the beginning of the 19th century. Posada's collection of images are shown mainly in the Museums of Fine Art of Aguascalientes, Houston, Texas, and Mexico City. The school images are related to the celebrations of the Day of the Dead, Día de Muertos, and was created by José Guadalupe Posada. His satire is world famous, known especially from the Mexican Revolution era. La Catrina, also called the Elegant N or the Dapper Skeleton, and before get so popular, it was known as the School Restorer. the Calavera Garbancera. It is Don Lupe's most important creation. La Catrina was created in 1912. It is a skull adorned with spokes on the outer edge of a big hat from the 19th century. The satyr is dedicated to the high-class women during the era of the Mexican president Porfirio Diaz. The skull symbol is considered as one of the most important in the Mexican art, just behind from the pepper and the mariachi figures. Calaveras means skulls. However, in the Mexican culture, calaveras also is a definition of written poems recite for the Day of the Dead. Here is Claudia, example. Some of the important schools with poems include Calavera Oaxaqueña, Oaxaqueña School, and Calavera Literaria, Literary School. Calavera's images include as many forms and types as you can imagine, such as revolution, love, heroes, any satirical expression about government, actors, players, artists, singers, or objects, bicycle, balls, knife, guitar, life or death. The schools are dressed in clothes going about the daily life. Another important examples of Posadas creation are Calavera Love and Grand Fandango. The popular culture of Posadas creation with the school symbol had influenced the culinary art also. The sugar schools became an important factor on the financial field, with a marked improvement in the selling of this product. In the making of sugar schools, the item needed for the process is to buy ice cube tray, granulated sugar, and colored icing. There is no rule for coloration or forms, but most important colors are yellow, blue, green, and orange. The process is the same as making a cake. It is served to guests at Halloween and Day of the Dead parties. Don Lupe's creation would be incomplete in the Day of the Dead celebration if there is no flower present in the churches or cemeteries. The altars to remember the lost relatives require flowers, such as cempasúchil, talletes y recta. Terciopelo rojo, Celasia cristata, and gladiolos. La Catrina School, the elegant, was made in black color, print on light color paper. There is a trick, gray color to the eye, due to the proximity and repetition of body lines and hat. There is a variety of curve, peak, and thin lines. In the inside of the hat, there is a contrast in relation to the bony face. There are not many areas with no marks. This is an indication of a good quality of the image. The two different items in the dead meaning, the Skull Calaveras printing and the Skull Calaveras poems, suggest that they are dead, even though they are alive. The people being satirized are politicians, actors, rich people, and other people in power or in the public eye. It is hard not to be afraid or stay away from the dead advice, but the celebration in the Day of the Dead in the Posadas images The calaveras are shown with smiles, dressed with clothes of the high class or riding a bicycle. The Day of the Dead also includes the family and friends getting together or by single person to remember their relatives lost in a spiritual celebration and praying or singing. Calaveras of love images is another way that Posadas has influence in the Mexican popular culture. Posadas creation represents the satyr to everybody, not any special group or single. His school's prints also represents the life of people in social, economic, or political issues. The Mexican popular culture has an addiction to the dead symbol, such as the skull skeletons, and this is perfect identified in the Posadas images. Posada influenced the creations of many painting art of the painter Diego Rivera. In the image of La Catrina, the elegant or the diaper skeleton, paint from 1910 to 1913. Another example of Posada's influence is José Clemente Orozco in the painting Gods of the Modern World, painted from 1932 to 1934. History behind Don Lupe's creation goes back to the 14th century, where the Dance of the Dead was a type of play performed. This includes skeletons, skulls, and bones. This is Posada's own creation of the dance, similar to the fandango, with the difference main veins in the representation of the oversized skeleton, the background of the skull, and the dance without any instruments. In Posada's era, Mexico felt in big crisis, and the revolution took place in 1910. The poems, the satire, the school's representations grew at unimaginable levels and helped people to give in a knowledge to get off the stress. Since that time, art printing is cheap and easy to get. The poems and images are easy to understand for anybody. Posada represents this movement focused in the Mexican revolutionary Emiliano Zapata. Besides Zapata, Posada also printed hundreds of different revolutionary images. They point out the shortcomings of people, but are meant to be taken in the spirit of fun. He was a big attacker of the Porfiriato, the Mexican regime of 35 years of the President Porfirio Diaz. That is one of the causes he decided to work a lot with the revolution images. José Guadalupe Posada is not considered a fine artist. However, his work related to the everyday life of common people and the tragedy reflects how important he is for the Mexican popular culture. The school's calaveras depicts details and factors of social order, such as clothing, body language, facial expressions, directly related not only to the working class people, but to the high class people as well. The schools celebrate the expression of real life, fascination with the dead still being used with bones, skeletons, and skulls in horror movies, Halloween, and the Day of the Dead celebration. Death is the meaning of the entry into the heaven, hopefully. We all will end at the same place as we heard in the church. You are dust, and to dust you will return. Posada was an ally with the oppressed working class. His art critiques the injustice of that time. If you visit Mexico, for sure you will find decorated altars with cempasúchil and skulls. Posada, Don Lupe, is well remembered for his comical, satirical calaveras on the Day of the Dead celebrations. In my opinion, there is no better option or choice to celebrate his hard work than the feelings that encourage me to make and paint myself the real and physical skull.